Look at what's going on in here. Look at Simba. He's so comfortable. And there's Splash in the little cat bed.
Stella, Splash, Simba, Boo, Sammy, Richard, Nancy, Goldie, Ziggy, Ringo, Eva, Hydrox, and Ditto, the Lucky Ferals.
It is 7:15 a.m. Here's Boo. Good morning, Boo. Sammy came by at 3:30 in the morning. I saw her earlier in the night, but she didn't come to eat. She came up to the front of the house from the side of the house, and then she stopped because there was a lot of noise with cars in the street and stuff. So I think it spooked her, and she didn't come back till 3:30 in the morning, and she did eat quite a bit of food at that time. I did put more food out, but then I shut off the alarm because I was like, it's going to be light out in a few hours. The birds are going to be by, so I need to get some sleep. I had a rough night, so I did not get to bed until midnight because I was dealing with the cats, trying to get Boo to eat, cleaning up the kitchen. So that was not good on my part. And then I had problems falling asleep. When the alarm would ring, I'd get up, I'd see who was outside. Sometimes I'd refill the food if they were eating for a while. And then I had a hard time getting back to sleep. I don't know what it was. So I didn't really get a good night's sleep. I woke up today a little bit before 7. So between 12 and 7, that's 7 hours, but I did not sleep that whole time. I maybe got 5 hours of sleep out of that. So I'm not feeling my best this morning because of that. The other thing I realized is that this is a mental game as much as it is a physical game. So this is the biggest mental and physical challenge that I've probably ever had to face, because usually it's, either a mental challenge or a physical challenge. But the mental part that's coming into this is I feel like I've lost my positivity, and I've lost my faith in being able to get things done because of what happened with Stella at the animal hospital. Because I've never witnessed such just cruelty and barbaric treatment before, it has really shaken my faith in a lot of things. So that's a noticeable difference for me. So when I was dealing with Stella, Splash, Simba, and Boo outside, there was never a doubt in my mind that I would be able to, get them spayed and neutered and taken care of. And when Stella, Splash, and Simba were rescued, they became house cats, and they were spayed and neutered, there was never a doubt in my mind that I would not get Boo. I was like, okay, it's just going to take me some time, but, Boo's next. I'll get him. And I knew it was not going to be, within a few months of when I got the other ones, because it was the middle of winter. Stella, Splash, and Simba came inside at the very end of December. That's when they became house cats. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to get Boo until the weather warmed up and until the summer. And that's what happened. And then when Hydrox passed away, when Hydrox all of a sudden could not use her back legs, and then she disappeared for 3 days, it was stressful, but I never lost my positivity about it. I never lost my faith about it. And, when she did show up and I took her to the animal hospital, and, I was told that, she had a saddle thrombosis and a large mass, there were no options. I felt very confident in the vet's diagnosis, and the best, most humane thing to do was to put her down. And because of the situation with her and Ditto, and she had spent her last night in her favorite shelter, and she had her last meal with Ditto, everything felt like it happened. And even though it was very sad, it was all understandable. And then a few months later, when Ditto was diagnosed with mouth cancer, I mean, that was a shock. But because I've known many people who have completely reversed very advanced cancers and very advanced diseases, you know, I had faith and positivity that we could get through that I'd be able to help Ditto and we'd be able to reverse his situation. Unfortunately, life is very different for cats than it is for humans. And, you know, I ran into many brick walls with regards to trying to find out information as to what works with cats, what doesn't work with cats, and possible alternative treatments, because it's very rare that people try something. So I tried things. I tried so many things with him. And he lived another 5 months inside. And even when it came time for him to pass, like, I understood that. I was like, okay, well, we tried for 5 months and it was finally his time. And I understood that. And everyone at the animal hospital was super nice and very helpful. And that was difficult, but I didn't lose my faith and positivity. And when the kittens showed up, and I had 7 kittens in my backyard, and I was faced with the tremendous task of trapping them and getting them spayed and neutered, there was never a doubt in my mind that I could not do it. And I got it done in a course of a month, and everything just aligned. And that is usually what has been happening with the cats. It's like when something major happens, things just align to make it go smoothly or to have a positive outcome. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes things don't align at first. Sometimes there are challenges to get there. But usually everything will align in such a way that the final outcome is understandable. But with Stella, that was not the case at all. I felt like it was the complete opposite. Like, everything was misaligned, and I keep being haunted with the thoughts like, what could have been done different? How could the outcome have changed? And I know for a fact that the outcome would have been different if I took her to a different animal hospital. And that's what's bothering me. The fact that she was not treated properly at the emergency room she was in, and that mistakes were made there. That just has me shook. Like, it just has me shook. And then the fact that Sammy just ran out the door the next day, and now she's completely reverted back to her feral behavior. Like, she doesn't even recognize my voice. I don't know if she recognizes the house. I always thought that if a cat like Sammy got outside, they'd be by the door meowing to get in. I mean, Sammy never shut up when she was in the house. Now, she's not meowing at all outside. And she is so scared. Even last night when I was watching the video of her when she was eating, she's constantly looking around, constantly checking her back. Like, she's constantly in fear mode. I have to figure out how to get her inside. Today, this morning, I was looking at the possibility of using a drop trap. But the problem that I'm having with Sammy is that I've lost my mental game with that. Anytime I've had to trap a cat in the past, I've always thought, okay, yeah, I'll just trap a cat. It'll be easy. This time, I have all kinds of negative thoughts running through my head, which should not be there. And that is probably the biggest hurdle that I have to get through right now. I mean, yes, I have to get through the physical hurdle of being able to function physically, making sure I get enough sleep and making sure that I'm eating well. Yesterday, I ate really well. Yesterday, I ate more food than I've probably eaten in one day in the past 3 weeks. But I have to get my mental game back in order because I can't keep having these doubtful thoughts coming into my mind because they're not helpful. They don't serve any useful purpose. In fact, they just cause confusion and indecision, and that's not good. So I definitely have to work on that, and that's why I'm saying that this is like a mental game as much as it is a physical game. Right, Boo? Here's Splash. And then another thing that happened last night is that about 15 minutes after Sammy left, after she ate food, the fox showed up. and it showed up in the backyard on the patio. And it was coming by, like looking for food, then it was like running off, and then it was coming by looking for food, then it was running off. It reminded me of a happy dog playing. It ate a few pieces of food out of the heated food bowl, but I don't think there's much food left to begin with. But I don't need a fox right now. And the last time I had a fox in this yard was when the Lucky Seven were outside. When the Lucky Seven were outside, there was a fox or several foxes that used to come by at night. And although it was concerning, I knew the Lucky Seven had safety in numbers. So I was never too concerned about a fox with them. But with Sammy, she's a small cat and she's on her own. So that is different. And the fact that I saw a black flash just blur through my yard yesterday, and then the fox was not too far behind it, that's a bit concerning, especially when Sammy came by the yard at 3:30 a.m. and then the fox comes by like 15 minutes later. I hope there's no connection there. So I will be having to keep a lookout for that also. But the problem is that once a fox knows that there's a food source available, the fox is going to keep coming by to see if there's more food. The way that I got rid of the fox the last time is that there ended up not being food outside. So it might have to be a situation like that again. But I'm using food as a lure for Sammy right now in the middle of the night. I don't know if the fox would come up to my front door. Here's Simba. There's the vacuum. There's a bunch of cat litter. I definitely need to vacuum. So what happened last night, another thing that happened last night, is that Boo did not want to eat his dinner. It was one of those nights where I just kept trying to feed him different things, and he wasn't happy with anything that I gave him. Finally, I opened up a can of Friskies. I don't even know what kind it was. It's not the pate. It was another kind that I had purchased like when Stella was not eating well, because I was trying everything. And I normally don't get the cats like any of like the bits or the shreds or stuff like that, because they have like wheat, corn, soy, that kind of stuff in them. And I normally avoid those for the cats. But I had a few cans of stuff like that. So I gave one to Boo, and he just gobbled it up. He was like, oh my God, I love this. And he ate it up. And I was like, oh, great, he ate something. But then what happened later was, just as I was about to go to bed, I looked in the dining room and he had vomited all over the floor. And I know it was him because of what was in the vomit. So then I had to clean up the vomit. And that took a while because there was a lot of it. And I gave Boo a few temptations to see if he would eat them. And he ate them and he kept them down. So what happened was, every time that I woke up to check on the food bowl outside, I gave Boo a few more temptations, because at least he ate those. So I'm hoping he eats better today. But what I need to do is go out and buy some more cans of those Friskies, because if that's all he's going to eat, I need to have them on hand. This is what's left in the bowl outside. So it looks like nothing's been eaten since Sammy came by. And I actually can confirm that through looking at the videos. Hopefully nothing is frozen here. At least it doesn't appear to be, because if this was not working, the water would be frozen. The water does not look like it's frozen. I'm gonna clean this up later. Right now I'll just leave this here. Usually there are birds here by now eating everything. Like, do you see the bird poop on the step? Maybe they're not coming because it's so close to the door. I don't know. It was really convenient having it this close to the door, because all I had to do was open the door. I didn't even have to really go outside. Maybe I could put it even closer to the door next time. Just like really a few more inches, just butt it up against the house. I just got out of the shower and I'm going for a morning of small wins again. My anxiety is not too bad today. I forgot to drink my holy basil tea yesterday. That helps to lower cortisol, and I don't have any this morning, so I need to make some. I honestly think that was really helpful, and I honestly think the reason why I feel so crappy in the morning is because of the spike in cortisol that happens every morning. So last night, Sammy was not coming by. Like, I thought she'd be by early, but she wasn't. Hey, doing, Boo? This is all like blankets and stuff from when I was sleeping on the couch the other day. So she wasn't coming by, and I was like, well, is there anything that I could do to maybe make her not so scared so she'll come by? And that's when, I started that meditation, the same meditation that I used the other day, that I firmly believe was why Sammy started coming by, because I was using it so much the other day and I wasn't really using it much yesterday. So I started the meditation. It's a YouTube video. And what normally happens is if I try doing this meditation while I'm laying in bed, I will fall asleep, like no problem. So I should have used it while I was having problems falling asleep. Now that I think about it, I don't know why I didn't think of that. But so what happened was I did the meditation, and literally 5 or 10 minutes later, Sammy shows up at the front door. So I think that's just such a powerful meditation, and I honestly think it really works. I know some people are not going to think it works. They're going to think it's a bunch of woo-woo, but I don't care. It's worked wonderfully for me so far, and it also worked when Ditto went missing. So I'm 2 for 2 with the cats regarding this meditation. Right, Boo? Right, Boo? Right, Boo? Right, Boo? So I just wanted to document that again. It's 9:05 a.m. I'm trying to get ready for my day, and I just got like one of the nastiest emails that I've ever gotten from somebody who watched the video on this channel. Like, it is ridiculous. I have to laugh at it, but I just took the time to respond to it because it is so ludicrous. So it's regarding the cat food video, the homemade raw cat food video that was cheaper than Friskies to make. And that video has gone viral. Like, it's almost at 1 million views. And I've answered the same questions over and over and over again in the comments. Well, somebody obviously did not watch the video, or if they did, I don't know, they didn't pay attention, because in the video, I made sure to make everything so clear and concise as to how to make this. And I used a grinder attachment for my KitchenAid mixer. I specifically said it was a grinder attachment. I showed how you attach it to the grinder. I showed exactly what was in the box. I said attachment multiple times. It's a grinder attachment. Never once did I indicate that I was using just a grinder to make the food. I specifically said it's a grinder attachment for the mixer. I showed how I attached it to the mixer. I showed how I ground the meat with the attachment attached to the mixer. Like, there's no way that somebody could possibly think that I was not using an attachment, and that if they bought the attachment, that they would not have to attach it to the mixer. But guess what? Somebody did. So either they did not watch the video, because there's no way to watch the video and think that I was not using an attachment for a mixer. Like, there's no way. Or, I don't know, maybe they were somehow impaired at the time that they were watching the video and they weren't paying attention. But it's not my fault at all. I did absolutely nothing wrong. And I just sent them a whole list of every time that I mentioned that it was an attachment, and every time that I showed it was an attachment. And then I had to remind them that, you know what, I included a link to the original recipe. This is not my original recipe. Somebody else made this recipe. I included the link in the description, in the pinned comment, and even in the video itself. And I specifically said, for anyone who wants more information, click on the link to the original recipe. Then what I had to do is click on the link myself and copy and paste the section about how to make the food without a grinder, how to make it with boneless meat. And then I had to copy and paste that and put that in the email. Like, I just don't know what's wrong with people. I don't know what's wrong with people. And, you know, I've gotten a lot of nasty comments on this channel ever since it started. And I've gotten nasty emails, nasty messages, but like, I don't need that right now. Like, I'm dealing with so much other stuff. Like, I don't need that. But one good thing about it is that it makes me angry, and it makes me really want to post more videos and get back up to speed faster. Because way back in the beginning, like when I was first posting videos of Stella, Splash, Simba, Boo, when they were living outside, I got so many nasty comments. Oh, those are not feral cats, and you can't train a feral cat, and unless a cat is less than 10 weeks old, there's absolutely no way to train them to become a house cat. Like, I got so many stupid comments, and it just really made me want to post more videos. And that's what made me do the Boo Day videos. That is what made me say, oh yeah, you think it can't be done? Well, this time I'm going to show you the entire process, and I'm not going to leave anything out. And that's how the Boo Day videos started. The Boo Day videos started because of Stella and her kittens, and because I had not completely filmed the entire process. I was just filming bits and pieces of the process and posting that online, not thinking that they would get the amount of views that they got. I thought I was just sharing them with some family members and friends who didn't live near me so I could show them what was going on. But then after several months, it became apparent that, you know what, there's something a little bit bigger going on here that I need to address. And that's why I knew when Boo showed up, I'm going to have to film the entire thing. I'm going to have to film like the daily process of getting him to the point where he's going to become a house cat. And that's what I did. And we can thank Stella for that. Stella and the babies. Right, Boo? I'm playing with the cats. I wanted to show you Boo. I'm using the old camera, the one that they're really conscious of, just because it's super easy for me to film this. But I want to show him to you because he's turning into a tunnel cat like Sammy. Sammy loves her tunnels, and Boo's starting to love tunnels also. Come on, Boo. Ready? Come on. Where you going, Boo? Here comes Simba. Simba's like, what's going on? Boo, it's your dragonfly. Come on. What are we playing with? You want to play or you want to eat? Here, Boo. There he goes. Is he going to go in the tunnel? He's near the back end of it. Simba just jumped on the cat's house. This is their gingerbread house cat tunnel. But Boo's been enjoying it so much I haven't put it away. What you doing, Simba? It's 1:15 p.m. I just got home. Here's Boo. And here's Richard. I know it's hard to see them because of the way the lighting is, but here's Richard. And there's Boo. They're hanging out in the cat towers together. I was going to show you Nancy. She was in another cat tower, but I don't know where she went. So I left the house thinking I was going to go to the local supermarket and buy some Friskies that Boo has been enjoying eating recently. And I had a handful of other things on my list. And as I was driving there, anxiety was hitting me. And I was like, I don't need this right now. I just don't need it. So I basically had to talk it off and walk it off. I made sure that where I parked, I had a good amount of distance to walk to the store. And then once I got in the store, I had to just basically tell myself, okay, just get the first thing on your list. And if you don't feel good, you could go home. So I got the Friskies, and then I was like, yeah, I feel fine. This is great. Let me get the second thing on my list. Then I got the second thing on my list, and I was like, yeah, I still feel good. Let's keep going. So before I knew it, I got everything on my list plus a few more things. And then when I was leaving the store, I realized that there's a Best Buy not too far away, and let me go in there and look at the security cameras because I could use one more security camera to point at the new heated cat shelter outside. I ended up getting 2 new security cameras because they were able to do a price match for me on Amazon, which was great. And then when I left there, I was like, I'm not too far away from Whole Foods. I would really like some dark chocolate peanut butter cups. I'm not going to go all the way to Trader Joe's, but I would think Whole Foods would have some. So I went to Whole Foods. I got my peanut butter cups. I got a few other things. And I ended up going out for lunch, and I actually ate a small salad. That's like the first salad that I've had in weeks because I haven't been able to stomach anything like that. But I was able to eat it, no problem. It tasted delicious. And then I just came home because it's super cold out. Like, it's really, really cold out. One of the reasons why I haven't really been going anywhere or doing anything is because it's so cold out and because I know that my resistance has been low because I haven't been sleeping right. I haven't been eating right. I'm going through all the stress. So I've been mostly just staying home, but I was really happy to be able to get out of the house today. It's a beautiful sunny day, although it is freezing cold. But hopefully over the next few days, it's going to warm up a little bit and maybe I could spend some more time outside. And maybe by spending more time outside, I can lure Sammy back into the yard and not just at 3 o'clock in the morning. It is 4:10 p.m. Here's Nancy. I just woke up from a nap. I don't know if I slept like an hour and a half, but I'm still like half asleep right now. But I got up. I need to drink some water or some juice or something. And then I need to scoop litter boxes and clean out the food bowl from last night and eat something. It's 4:35 p.m. Look at what's going on in here. Look at Simba. He's so comfortable. And there's Splash in the little cat bed. They're laying in here today because they went in here this morning. And I was like, you guys want to stay in here by yourself today? So I shut the door. And they're just really happy not to have their pesky little sisters annoying them. I'm just about to scoop the litter. So I cleaned up the water bowl and the food bowl for the heated kitty cafe. And then I pushed it along the side of the house in the front, right near the front door. And I put water out. I'm not putting any food out yet until it starts getting dark because otherwise the birds will come and eat it. I have canned food that I'll be putting out. I'll probably put a little bit of dry food mixed in with it, which is what I did yesterday. Right now, I am just about to scoop all of the litter in the house and put fresh water in the water bowls. I just put a few more things away that I purchased today. I'm making myself a cup of the holy basil tea, which helps to bring down cortisol levels. And that's going to steep while I scoop the rest of the litter boxes, just get that done with. And I feel like every night now it's like, okay, we got to get ready for the nighttime. And it's just it's an all new routine. And what has not been helping today is the amount of wind that we have. So we are having wind that's like 10 to 20 miles per hour with gusts of wind up to 30 miles per hour. So it keeps setting off the security cameras. It keeps telling me there's a person in the yard, there's an animal in the yard, but it's not. It's just like things blowing around, like the patio cover blowing around, or the blanket on the clothesline blowing around, or just like leaves or debris blowing around. So it's 5:21 p.m. I'm putting some food out for Ox. This is some of the wellness pate that's left over, along with some of the Iams crunchies. There he is now. He's eating some leftover food from earlier today that was on a plate in the heated bowl. So I'm going to give him some of this fresh food. I just put a bunch of fresh food in the bowl, and the next thing I'm going to do is put fresh water in the water bowl outside. Here's Nancy. She wants to see him. She's looking. I just had one of my friends contact me with regards to a situation that I was involved in last year. It's related to that board of directors volunteer situation. This is someone who was helping me with that at the time. And I really can't go into specifics, but what he told me was really, really interesting with regards to how that situation is proceeding. And I can't go into it because it has become a more serious legal situation. But it was interesting to get the update, and it is going to be interesting to see how it all proceeds. Even though I'm not involved in it anymore, like I've cut all ties with that, I did put a tremendous amount of work into it, into setting it right and cleaning up the mess and exposing the vast amounts of, let's just call it, mismanagement. So it's nice to know that all of the work that I put in may not go to waste and will potentially help the entire association. Which then brings me to the other topic, and the other topic is like losing a cat, both having a cat pass away and also having a cat go missing. It is so easily dismissed by people who don't have cats, who don't understand cats, like people who don't have pets. They don't understand how deeply someone can be affected by losing a cat, either way, by having a cat pass away or also by having a cat go missing. And, you know, people are so quick to say, well, it's only a cat. You know, they're just cats. You can just get another cat. But that's not the case at all. Anyone who has cats knows that you can't just get another cat that's exactly like the cat you had, especially when it comes to someone like Stella. Stella was a very unique cat with a very unique history and a set of very unique circumstances. Sammy was the same. Sammy was the first member of the Lucky Seven that was trapped and brought inside and made into a house cat. The reason why the Lucky Seven are house cats today is because Sammy escaped from the trap. If Sammy had not escaped from the trap, the original plan was to TNR those cats. So I was going to trap them, have them spayed or neutered, let them recover for about 48 hours inside, maybe a little bit more for the girls, and then release them back outside. But it was because of Sammy that did not happen. Because Sammy escaped from the trap, because Sammy wanted to have a chance to become a house cat, that's why I gave all of them the chance to become house cats. So nobody can tell me that I can just get another cat or I could just get other cats and there's not going to be a difference. There will always be a difference because these cats, both Stella and Sammy, and every other cat that I have in this house, has a very unique history and a very unique personality and a very unique story. And people have to learn not to be so dismissive when it comes to the death or the loss of a cat. They're not just cats. They're members of the family. I'm putting some food outside for Sammy. This is the 9 Lives meaty pate with real chicken and tuna. This is what I got at the Dollar Tree. And Boo wants to be my taste tester, so I gave him some of the food and I put a few crunchies on it. And here's the bowl of food. This is about half of that can. I mixed some extra water into it, and then I put some of the Blue Wilderness Crunchies on top. And I'll put this out front, and we'll see if it attracts Sammy. It's 6:30 p.m. Here's Richard. I was going to show you how nicely he was laying in one of the cat beds, but he jumped out of it when I came in with this camera. Anyway, I set up the 2 new cameras out front. One is pointing at the new heated shelter, and the other one is pointing at like the side of the house, but the front side of the house. I have a camera on the back side of the house, and this is going to be on the front side of the house. So hopefully it'll give me more insight as to where Sammy's been going, if she's been moving around in that area. It's 8:07 p.m. Here's Richard and Nancy. So Sammy came by like 20 minutes ago, and she ate some food in front, and then she walked away, and she's been using the side of the house, but I don't think she's going through my backyard. I think she's going like under the fence where Ditto and Hydrox used to go, and she's going like on the other side of the fence to one of my neighbor's yards. That's what it appears to be. So maybe it's because Cousin Oliver has been hanging out in my yard, because she seems to be wanting to avoid like the patio area. So maybe she smells that he's there. So I'm definitely going to have to try to, get her back in the house via the front door. And around 8 o'clock, like after Sammy left the front area, a few minutes later, Cousin Oliver showed up to eat the rest of the food. So it's only a little bit after 8, and I already have to refill that bowl of food that I put out there. Hopefully Sammy will come back several times tonight to eat more food. She ate some food, but I'd still like her to eat more. And I have to fix one of the cameras. One of the cameras fell over. But other than that, it's really nice having the new cameras out there, because I could get a better view of like where she's coming from and where she's going. Boo is eating his dinner. So the cats are having leftover homemade raw food, about 2 ounces each. And what I did was I took the Friskies that I bought for Boo today. This is the Friskies prime fillets with chicken and gravy. Not the best food. I'm not happy with the ingredients because it has wheat and soy in it. But instead of just feeding Boo the Friskies straight, what I did was I mixed it into the homemade raw food. So he's getting like 2/3 homemade raw food and 1/3 of the Friskies, and he's eating it. Like, he's very happy with the food. He's eating it. So that is going to be the strategy moving forward. And I had to do this with Boo like years ago to get him to eat like the raw food. I had to mix in some of his favorite canned food. That's some of the 9 Lives canned food that he was eating before. So he did eat a little bit of that before. And right now he's probably eaten already half of his food, but he's still working on it. He's just really happy. I gave it to Simba and Splash. Hopefully they'll eat it also. They seemed interested in it. Now I have to go downstairs and feed the Lucky 7. Sometimes he stops eating, and what I have to do is I have to take like the little fork or the little spoon and kind of mound his food in the middle of the plate, and then he'll go back to eating it. There's a few crunchies on top of it. It's the Blue Wilderness crunchies. I'm happy he's eating, and I'm happy he's enjoying it.
Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.